Okay, welcome to Conflict and Peacemaking. This is the first slide that I have, and this is a topic that I'm very passionate about. It is important given our world events and where we live in our situation in time, uh, where we once learned quite a bit about people and societies. It seems that we've forgotten that in recent years. So here's my attempt to rectify that in lecture. Conflict and peacemaking. I've included some Bible verses, not to proselytize or to convince you that one religion's better than another, but just to simply give a cultural perspective from history. So if you look at a lot of times the verse from Christianity will be cited to turn the other cheek as a way to help resolve conflict. And now a lot of times people equate that with forgiveness. And that's not necessarily what I get from that reading and from my experience in education looking at it. If you look at where that's situated in Scripture, there are also a couple other verses that go along with turn the other cheek. Turn the other cheek goes along with walk an extra mile and give up your shirt as well. So I'll break that down quickly. If you read the text, turn the other cheek. It says if someone were to hit you on the right cheek, go ahead and present the left cheek as well. So if you think about that, if you get hit on the right cheek, think about most people. Most people are right-handed. If you're going to really try to deck somebody and you're throwing that right cross, where's that going to land? That's going to land on somebody's left cheek. If you hit somebody on the right cheek, that's like a backhand. That's like a slap. It's a backhanded slap. And so it's a sign of disrespect. And so it's almost like and so keep that in mind because it's attached with these other two. You can't really take one in a vacuum. Now the text says, the scripture says, if someone conscripts you for 1 mile, go ahead and walk with their things an extra mile. So conscripts means what that's referring to is the Roman soldiers when they controlled the empire around the Middle East. They could come into a town and they could conscript citizens. They could pull a person out of their home and say, "Hey, you know what? I've got all this gear and I'm sick and tired of hauling it, so you're going to carry it." So they could conscript just common people to carry their belongings. To say they've got to go marching, so you're gonna carry this across town for me. And there's nothing really, the Roman soldier has a sword and a shield and the authority that goes along with that. So there was nothing really that people could do. And so that second verse really gives you the key to opening up and understanding what these things are talking about, what turn the other cheek talks about. So it's about this recognition there's a power differential, and this person that has more power than you is telling you, get up, walk this mile with my stuff. So what does it do by walking an extra mile? Does that mean that you forgive that person? No, that doesn't mean that you forgive. That's an act of shaming that person. That's an act of shaming. It's basically nonviolent resistance. In other words, you're passively going along, but you know what? You wanted me to carry this. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going the extra mile. I'm going to go. I'm going to keep carrying it. Keep that image in mind when you're talking about if somebody sues you for your cloak, somebody sues you for a jacket, go ahead and give them your shirt as well. So again, this is we're talking about a culture where there's big power differentials, and people who didn't have a lot of power, the same as today, aren't going to go to court. They're not going to have money to go to court and afford attorneys and lawyers and things, and so they're not going to want to go before a judge. And so what it says is, go ahead. If somebody sues you for your it's basically somebody's coming in and saying, you know what, I'm going to take your property and I'm going to sue you. I'm going to take you to court so this judge agrees with it. And so you see a lot of that in our legal system. Particularly, it's not really for people that don't have many resources. And so what this verse is saying, go ahead and give them up your shirt as well. That way you're basically, here's the shirt off my back. Now I'm naked. So again, it's an act of shaming. Here, you want my coat? Go ahead and take my shirt. If you turn the other cheek, it's like an act of defiance. It's like, okay, well, go ahead and hit me on the left cheek as well. if you're gonna backhand me. So again, it's this act. There's a power differential, and so I've got the globe and the justice scales here, and I really use this a lot in my own understanding of things. So if you have somebody that has more, obviously the scale's tilted your way, and the people that have less. This used to be the way that they decided, things in ancient cultures. Is literally just get a scale. Oh, let's put gold here and gold here. When they're balanced out, we know it's even. So that's important. So keep those power differentials in mind, especially when you're responding to this week's discussion question.